I'm Paul Perkins with a check of your ag weather. After highs this afternoon that are 5 degrees cooler than normal in the low to mid-80s, temperatures gradually warm this week and weekend with a building ridge of high pressure over the western U.S. that moves on to the plains. Highs tomorrow and Wednesday warm into the mid-80s to the low 90s. Thursday, the highs range from the upper 80s to the mid-90s. Friday through the weekend, the ridge of high pressure moving over the plains. Widespread highs in the 90s expected for Friday, even highs around 100 over southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas. The weekend is even hotter. Sunday, our hottest day of the next week, with highs ranging from the mid to upper 90s in central and eastern Nebraska to the low to mid 100s elsewhere. When you team up the temperature with the humidity, we are expecting heat index readings of 100 to 105 over the weekend. Over southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas, where the humidity is lower, fire weather is a concern by the weekend. The July heat continues in our long-term forecast. Warmer than normal temperatures are likely for Nebraska, Kansas, and nationwide this weekend through July 21st, especially this weekend and early next week in Nebraska and Kansas. Nebraska and Kansas rainfall predicted to be slightly below normal this weekend and early next week before a slight improvement to near normal rainfall late next week through July 21st. Key weather factors impacting the markets include heavy rain in the Mississippi Valley and eastern Midwest from the remnants of Hurricane Beryl, dry weather continuing for Argentina and the Black Sea region, and overly wet weather in northwest Europe and southern Brazil. The remnants of Hurricane Beryl track northeastward, crossing Arkansas tomorrow and Indiana on Wednesday. As Beryl's winds rapidly diminish, the primary threat becomes flash flooding, although many crops in the Mid-South and lower Midwest may benefit from a quick burst of rain. Rain totals reach 5 to 10 inches or more in parts of eastern Texas, with 2 to 6 inch amounts expected from southeastern Oklahoma and much of Arkansas into the lower Great Lakes and Northeast. Rainy weather affects the southern Atlantic states while dry weather prevails the next 5 days from the Pacific coast to the northern half of the plains. Mostly cool weather across the plains and Midwest is replaced by above normal temperatures, with readings broadly topping 100 late in the week on the northern and central plains. Hot weather also persists in the western U.S. as well as parts of the east. In southern Brazil, heavy rain this week delays the winter wheat planting and development even more, especially Rio Grande do Sul that is still recovering from previous flooding. Harvest of second crop corn in southern Brazil is ahead of schedule, but rain this week is likely to slow it down. Argentina's soil moisture is too low for winter wheat establishment, and dry weather continues this week, possibly into early next week. Cold weather this week in Argentina brings widespread frost, but a damaging hard freeze for the wheat is unlikely. France and Germany of northwest Europe continue to be too wet. Rain this week in France and Germany adds to the delays in crop development, while rain farther southeast is beneficial. Towards the Black Sea region, isolated rain continues this week as drought expands in most areas, adding to the stress of developing summer crops. I'm Paul Perkins. That's a check of your ag weather.